How to get booked on podcasts. Okay, as somebody who's been on hundreds of other podcast shows, I also have over 1 million downloads on one of my own podcast shows as well, which is pretty cool. I feel qualified to talk about this. So in this video, I'm going to tell you really cool ways that are not pushy of how you can get booked on other people's podcast shows. Let's dive in. Hey, if you're watching this video, you probably have a podcast, or you are trying to get on other people's shows, which makes sense for the title. And I gotta tell you, this is one of the most easy forms of marketing on the planet, and it is so overseen, it drives me nuts. So I'm really excited that you're here. I started out with this game totally shy. In fact, funny enough, by the time I graduated high school, my senior year, and funny, I was a singer, still am. And I sang barbershop quartet. I had leads in several musicals. And one of my singing teachers, she was like, "Steve, I'm so excited, I can hear you." I was like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "I couldn't actually hear you, like at all, like with my ears. When you showed up as a freshman." I was like, "Oh yeah, I was pretty shy." She's like, "Yeah, I almost didn't keep you. You're thankfully, like, I can hear you. You can project, you can talk." So this is a real thing for me. I also went through a lot of therapy for anxiety and speaking to adults. And the reason I bring this up is so you understand, like, I've been there. I totally get this is scary. I totally understand this is a freaky thing. And it's scary enough just to get on and do a podcast or do a YouTube. I understand. I always get just a little twinge still, just a little like, a little nervousness. In this video though, I'm gonna walk through some very, very easy, low pressure ways that you can go start getting yourself booked on podcasts. Now, it is a process and I'm excited to walk through it. It's not that challenging. Please get a piece of paper. Let's dive in. The number one way. Let's start with number one. The number one way to get on other people's podcasts is to, drumroll please, we could put some drum roll somewhere, that'd be awesome, have your own podcast. I know, you don't want that answer. It's the answer though. Honestly, if you have your own show, it's amazing how many people answer your phone call. Why? The book Traffic Secrets talks about this. Traffic Secrets teaches, these are true stories, man. Like, people go off these celebrities, right? They'll have their own evening show or they'll have their own game show. And as soon as they stop, people don't answer their phone calls as much. Why? That's not to paint the world as being this cold, calculated, oh, it's all about the dollar kind of thing. But there is something to it, right? When you have your own show and someone else has one also, what do you think they're thinking when you reach out? Oh man, if I was to get on their show, maybe they can get on mine. That's the easiest way to get on other people's shows. That is the easiest. And funny enough, you don't actually have to have that many episodes. You could have like 3. You could have 3 podcast episodes. And that's kind of what I'm telling you to do is like, just go make a podcast. They're free. Okay, free 99. Okay, podcasts are really, really easy. Okay, go make a podcast, get a few episodes on there. And now it's really easy to say, hey, what's up, influencer? My name is Steve Larsen. I've got a podcast called Launch for Profit, and I would love to get you on my show, but I would also love to get on yours if you feel like it's a fit. No pressure. Let's start with you on mine. I want to give you some cookie. Does that make sense? And so that's what I call it. I'm going to give you some social cred. I'm going to give you a place to talk. I can give you more influencership by coming on my show. And I just want to pre-frame it that if it's a cool fit, I would love to get on yours, but no pressure. Let's get on and let's talk about whatever you're promoting next. Oh, that right there? Man, the doors open like crazy. That is so easy to get yourself on podcasts like that. This is how I grew back in the day, man. I would constantly get on all these podcasts. This has been really, really key. Now, okay, Steve, you're saying I have to go make a podcast? Yeah, I got a 3-day event on this. So I understand I'm not going to do this in like a 10-minute video here. But understand that if you can name your show something that your future dream customer would be interested in listening to, gold. Why do you think I called the show Launch for Profit? Internet marketers everywhere love that title, and they just get attracted to me. Why do I have another show called Sales Funnel Radio? It's because if you're interested in sales funnels at all, you're probably going to subscribe to a show called Sales Funnel Radio. Guess what? That's the one that has organic 1 million downloads. So what we're going to do is, if you want to get on other people's shows, you need to have a show and title it something cool and interesting that your dream customer would want to listen to. Second way to get yourself interviewed, guys, you got to own interviewyourname.com. If you want a live example of this, go to interviewsteve.com. You'll see mine. This is a really easy way, and I have to tell you, it's one of the easiest ways also for me to get booked on other people's shows. I don't even have to ask them. Okay, this is how I do it. Since I have my own show, which lets me get on other people's, right? But what can I do with my own show? Okay, so here's how I do like a podcast episode. I'll do my podcast episode like, what's going on, everyone? It's Steve Larsen. Welcome back to another episode of Launch for Profit. I'm here today to tell you about blah, 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 blah. And at the very end, I say something like, hey, if you're interested in me getting on your show, I totally get how this game works. I would love to come on in, see if I can share some value with your audience. My calendar has all the times available that you can choose from. Go to interviewsteve.com and choose a time. That never dies. And so all I do is every so often on my podcast, I just put my interviewsteve.com call to action. And now I have podcasts all over the place. All over the place. Dozens, right? Maybe I'd say 50 to 100-ish. All pointing to interviewsteve.com. And then what's interviewsteve.com? Interviewsteve.com, if you go there and you'll see that there is it's a video of me saying, what's up? Excited to be on your thing. First of all, we just want to make sure that you have a thing. This is not for brand new newbies. I'm fine getting on your show. I just need to know you've done 20 episodes already so I can see you're committed, right? Then fill out the little form below and we'll send you a link to my calendar. So what happens after that is all I did is I've chosen the same couple times each week to get on other people's shows. Now there's been various times we've had that off, okay? But we have it back on, right? And what I have is my assistant just knows like, hey, these are the times that Steve is open to get on other people's shows, okay? Now I have been as far as 4 months out booked on other people's shows. I've been on hundreds of other people's podcasts. This formula right here that I'm teaching you guys is one of the easiest ways to not only grow, but get the attention of other influencers in your marketplace. Before I show you one of the easiest growth strategies for your interviews ever, guys, go ahead and subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Go ahead and hit the thumbs up. In the comments below, I'd love to hear. If you are podcasting, please put your show below. Link to it. I'm fine with that. That'd be awesome. I'd love to be able to. Let's put a little database down below of your shows. If you are publishing, kudos to you. It's not easy, so let's give you a little back scratch. Also, share this video. If you like this stuff and you're like, man, I really wish that there were more people doing podcasts or YouTube or whatever that is that you want. I want to get interviewed more. Check out this cool video. I would love it if you share. But above all, I do want you guys to go get interviewyourname.com. It's one of the coolest assets you'll have the rest of your life. Hey guys, this third strategy will put all of the stuff on hyperdrive. All right, I call this the reach 2 levels up strategy. This is something I kind of made up and started doing as I was leaving my job. Think about you just at the beginning. How much influence do you have at the beginning? Like none, right? You influence you, and that's kind of it, right? So like if I was to just draw like a little bar graph of how much influence you have, it's like that much, right? You don't have a lot of influence. Who has more influence than you do? Tony Robbins? Heck yeah, way more influence. Who has more influence than Tony Robbins? Let's say like Warren Buffett, right? Let's say above that. Who's at the very top? Who has more influence than all? To sidestep all political and religious debate, Batman, right? Batman has all the influence at the very, very top, let's say. Okay, think about this concept though, okay? You're at the bottom, someone has more influence than you, someone has more influence than them, and there's a whole lot of layers above you. What's kind of cool about this is it likely that you're going to be able to go get Tony Robbins on your podcast out of the gate? No. But you could get the person who's like 2 levels above you, right? And then as you start to feel yourself grow, you reach 2 levels above them, and then 2 levels above them. And as you grow, so does the type of person that you start to try and get interviewed on your show. Okay, this is very, very key. What I started doing was I just started making a list of the people who had podcasts that I would want to have on my show, who I could tell were clearly a little bit bigger than me. And then as soon as I got to their level, I stopped asking them to be on my show. Okay, I stopped asking them to be on my show. As soon you go 2 levels up, but you never go down. For example, I've had Russell Brunson on my podcast, right? I've had some larger people on my shows. So I shouldn't get somebody on who's lesser than Russell Brunson. I don't mean this in like I'm better than you, holier than thou kind of a thing. That's not what I mean at all. But what I do is I reach 2 levels up at all times, and I don't go backwards. Now I do this in terms of getting people on my shows, but I also do it in terms of reaching out when it's time for me to go outward to get on other people's shows also, okay? So what you're gonna do is you're going to think through who are the people who have podcast shows who are bigger than you, 2 levels up. And you get them to either be on your show and or to go on theirs. And as soon as you feel yourself, I don't know how else to measure it except for that, as soon as you feel that your influence has evolved, your list has grown, and you have leveled up yourself, don't go for that tier anymore. You need to upgrade who it is that you're getting on your show. In doing this, I have grown my podcast faster than almost anything else. That's one of my favorite podcast growth strategies ever. And it's one of the reasons why I continue to get myself booked on other people's stuff. because I continued to say, go to interviewsteve.com, go to interviewsteve.com, right? And I continued to say that, and now people book me for me. They're actually asking me to get on their show. This is one of the fastest ways for you to be somewhat omnipresent in the podcasting world as you start to get interviewed. I got something that'll be really, really helpful for you guys. Go to internetlaunchsecrets.com. You're trying to figure out how to get more attention. You're trying to get yourself booked on podcasts. Go to internetlaunchsecrets.com, and what we'll do is we'll show you how to get a lot of attention, a lot of list building, a lot of eyeballs in your direction for free. There's a lot of free strategies there that you'll see, some cool case studies on how to get a lot of attention for free at internetlaunchsecrets.com. We'll put the link in the description for you to click there.